organizations to refer qualified applicants to us. You can receive the Game and Odyssey job vacancy information by contacting Human Resources at 415-765-4011 or by emailing sfhr@odyssey.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. Did you know that romance can be eco-friendly? Simply give your sweetheart an experience rather than a gift. You can plan a night on the town that includes dinner at a local restaurant, ballroom dancing, or tickets to the theater. You could also plan a couple's massage or even a hot air balloon ride. You can create a great memory without creating any physical waste. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Good morning, area. It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
Oh, yes. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to this Thursday morning here in February. We're a day away from a payday Friday. You have almost made it. Thursday's the best day of the week, though, because you got that anticipation that the week is almost done. Once today's over, you're like, oh, man, tomorrow's Friday. It's going to be a little more relaxed, get paid. Then we got the weekend. Then it's all good. I got the missus' birthday tomorrow, so better not mess that up. Yeah, I get the double whammy every single year. I get Valentine's Day, and then 3 days later, I get the missus' birthday. So happy early birthday to Jade. We're going to see what we're going to do tonight. Going to take the little guy, go get some gifts and some presents. I better not mess that one up. Aced Valentine's Day. Got the roses. Got the nice card. Got a little gift. And we're good. That was all good. Now, this is like the SATs. We got the ACTs. We got the SATs. The ACT, I passed with flying colors with Valentine's Day. Now I got to pass the birthday. Now, when you have a couple kids, it's a lot more relaxed. You do some kid-related gifts, and then it's like, okay, yeah, well, what do you want for birthday this year? She's turning 29, so it's not a huge birthday. So it's like, okay, yeah, so-and-so. So should be chill. Should be relaxed. She wants to go see the new Marvel movie this weekend. I guess there's a drive-in theater over in the East Bay. We're going to go see the new Ant-Man. So that'll be fun. Nice little family weekend. So can't wait for that. Can't wait to talk to all of you right now at 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. If you would like to get involved, that is the number. Xfinity Mobile text line is the same, 888-957-9570 is that number. YouTube, Twitch, hello, hit me up there. How you doing? How you feeling? And this is the weird part of the sports calendar during this All-Star break. And we got pitchers and catchers, okay. So we can talk baseball. We'll talk a little baseball. Jock Peterson and Logan Webb had some interesting things to say on Chris Rose's podcast on John Boy Media. So we'll get into that. Kind of look a little ahead to that season, that lineup, expectations, a little disappointing. We don't really have a star player that we thought, like an Aaron Judge or Carlos Correa. And we'll get Jock's and Logan's thoughts on missing out on both of those players. Different reasons, obviously. One maybe stung a little bit more. Arson Judge. But it's kind of a weird part in the sports calendar. You know, we have the All-Star break. So, yeah, we're going to hear from Bob Myers and Steve Kerr, both of whom were on the air yesterday with us, with Damon and Ratto, with Steve Kerr, and Bob with Steiny and Goo the other day. And Peter King as well, with some interesting thoughts on Jimmy Garoppolo's future. Who might Steve Wilkes be looking at on the defensive side? Maybe the Niners could add to that defense. It's going to be an interesting offseason for the 49ers. Brock Purdy, obviously the biggest question mark, that surgery, the timetable of him coming back, all that. So we have a smorgasbord, if you will, the poo-poo platter. We have a buffet. We have Giants. We have Warriors. We have Niners. We got everything. We have you at 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. But I'm going to start here. And it's kind of a fusion, if you will, now that we're talking food. Shout out Mexican fusion, Korean fusion, Italian fusion, whatever. food and fusion that you like. We're going to do a little Warriors and Giants fusion because it was posted in the chat yesterday, and Shasky actually had a really good tweet about it and a good pull-up if you want to hit him up at Twitter, at ButcherBoy415, and hit me up on Twitter if you have any questions or want to get involved in the show, at Spadoni_Joe. But he posed this question, as I just had it up now, and now I'm vamping because that's what we do on radio. So, in light of both number 2 overall picks looking at best suspect after being consensus top picks, Joey Bart and James Wiseman, who do you have more faith in to develop young talent? The Giants or the Warriors? And I was like, that's an interesting question. I took it a different way. My first thought was the question was going to be, who's potentially going to be the bigger bust out of the two? And after I watched James Wiseman's debut last night against the Boston Celtics, I came away, I was like, okay, all right, James. They got the L, obviously. It's going up against the best team in the Eastern Conference in the Celtics. The Pistons weren't winning that game. Saw a lot of people, but did you see James Wiseman's plus minus? He got cooked on defense a couple of times. Okay. And? Pistons don't care. They're trying to develop this kid. They got to give him playing minutes. So he finished 5-9 shooting, 11 points, 5 boards. It's like, okay, I see you, James. Looked confident, looked relieved, looked happy. I was just glad to see that from James Wiseman, a guy who's still so young. He's only 21 years old. I'm just hoping the best for that kid and his future in the NBA. Because I don't wish ill on anybody. I don't want anyone to be, I'm not one of those sports fans where it didn't work out here. And it's just like I'm rooting for this person to fail in another place. I never look at it that way. I want my team to succeed. And if a guy that didn't succeed here succeeds somewhere else, that's great. Good for him. Every situation is different. Maybe it worked out just that market was better for that person's family, or that person got the one coach they needed on the staff to unlock everything. Sometimes that just happens. Now, juxtapose James Wiseman with Joey Bart, and reports coming out yesterday from Susan Slusser of the Chronicle that Joey Bart's not a lock to make this roster. Am I hearing that right? Joey freaking Bart's not a lock? Huh. Because almost all the projecting lineups I'm looking at is he is slotted in as the starting catcher, but according to the Giants, that might not be the case. And this is the lineup you're looking at right now if you're heading into the 2023 season. You're looking at Joey Bart, J.D. Davis, Tyro Estrada, Wilmer Flores, Brandon Crawford, Michael Conforto, Mike Yastrzemski, Mitch Haniger, and Jock Peterson. Okay. Not a lot of sexy names in there. I get it. They could win. They could absolutely win. And right now, Vegas has slotted their over-under win total at 81.5. You feel confident taking the over there? I would have to say yes, because they hit that over last year. I felt like they improved. The rotation kind of leaves a lot to be desired, though. I will say that. Yeah, Logan Webb, stud. Alex Cobb, solid number 2. Ross Stripling, okay. He's had some success in the past. Sean Manaea, DeSclafani, those two make me nervous. Now, Manaea Reclamation Project, he's had success in the past. We know him locally here when he was with the A's. Did some good things there. Had a no-hitter against the Red Sox. We love Sean. Great personality in the clubhouse. Fun guy. Fun dude. So rooting for him. DeSclafani, injury bug last year. Remember, can't pitch against one of your biggest rivals, if not the biggest rival in baseball other than Yankees, Red Sox. Can't pitch against the Dodgers. Doesn't do well against them. Everyone else, okay. So, how are we feeling about this Giants team heading into next season as pitchers and catchers are reporting to spring training? I'm just, after this disappointing offseason, you need to get off to a fast start if you're the Giants. If you get off to an underwhelming start to this season, and by the way, you know where you're starting this season? It's in the Bronx. It's in New York. And you are going up against the guy that kind of dangled you around this whole offseason, played you like a fiddle, and ended up getting a massive contract and extension with the New York Yankees and then leaving you just licking your wounds. Oh, but we'll pivot. Oh, we got Carlos Correa. You know what? I think everything's going to be fine. It's all good. He's not the name of an Aaron Judge, but he's a hell of a player. He's young, and he's going to be around here for a long time. And he's gone. Press conference? Nope. Oh, he's going to be a Met. He's not going to be a Met. No, he's going to be a Twin. So just a weird and kind of crazy offseason for the San Francisco Giants. And ultimately, it was disappointing for a lot of the fans. I mean, hell, you saw that at FanFest when, yeah, it was raining, but FanFest getting under 10K? Some people were recording 12. Judging by the photos and people that have been there, there was not 12,000 people there. Under 10,000 for the Giants? That can't happen. For this organization? And you have the highest payroll in your history this year, and I can't name one stud on that projected lineup? Again, Joey Bart, J.D. Davis, Tyler Estrada, Wilmer Flores, Brandon Crawford, Michael Conforto, Yastrzemski, Haniger, Peterson. That's all the money you could... That's what we're doing with it? So, yes, the Giants do need to get off to a hot start. It's absolutely imperative that they do so. Because you still look at this division, you're third fiddle. It's Dodgers, Padres, 1 and 2, 1A, 1B, whatever you want to flip it. I think the Dodgers might take a little bit of a step back this year, and that's not a hot take. They lost Trey Turner. Justin Turner, he's gone too. Kind of an anchor of that starting lineup. Captain kind of a guy there. But you got Freddie Freeman, you got Mookie Betts, you got studs everywhere. You got Will Smith behind the plate. Still got studs in the rotation. And don't get it twisted. They will be the biggest favorites, and I think are the favorites, to land Ohtani if the Angels decide to part ways with them or trade him before the deadline. So they're ramping up to try to be in the Ohtani sweepstakes. I know the Giants, they would like to be in the same sweepstakes. I don't know if I could consider them a lock to even get far with him, considering how much they have failed in the past when it comes to free agents or trade acquisitions and their hesitancy to do so. But Ohtani's a guy. That name's going to be floated out here throughout the season, depending on what the Angels do, and I expect them to stink because the Angels have stunk since they've won a World Series, basically. They've somehow managed to wither away two of the greatest baseball players in the history of the game, in Mike Trout and Ohtani, for nothing. But you know what? Mike Trout doesn't care. He's chill. I think Ohtani might, and I think he wants to potentially force his way out this season. So that'll be an interesting storyline heading in throughout the year. Jock Peterson and Logan Webb, they were on the Chris Rose podcast on John Boy Media, and it was very interesting to hear them and their thoughts regarding both Carlos Correa and Aaron Judge. We'll start with Aaron Judge, an arson Judge tweet first, I should say. Shout out John Heyman. And here's Jock Peterson talking about what went down.
As much as they put a lot into trying to get him in, then to tease you like that, it's a real kick in the nuts. So it wasn't great. That's life, Not everything goes your way, and you saddle up and move on. And find a way to get the job done without him. It would have been nice to have him because obviously he's a superstar. But we got to move past that. It's old news, and come into spring training ready to get to work.
Again, Giants, they open up in the Bronx, in New York. The Yankees, March 30th. Cannot wait for that. Do you hit Aaron Judge? Do you throw at him? Do you not let him at bat? Talk to Joe Shasky, who's going to be joining Alan Stiles again today at 6 o'clock. And I'm sure they'll get into some of that. But you cannot let Aaron Judge hit a bomb against you. That's his thought. He's like, no, I'm giving him 4 fingers. Go on first every single time. I'm throwing at the guy. No, he played you. I understand. There are hard feelings for a lot of those fans when it comes to Aaron Judge. For the players, I don't know. The sense was from a lot of the players early on maybe that he was going to end up being a Yankee anyways. Jock there seemed to be a little surprised. But from some of the players, Brandon Crawford, he was like, kind of felt like we were on the outside looking in kind of the whole time. But listen, it's never fun being the bridesmaid and not the bride. It's never the fun being the third wheel on a date. Trust me, I had many of those. I looked like Harry Potter for most of my life. This is before Harry Potter was considered cool, by the way. Wasn't a great look. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for the horrible glasses growing up. You couldn't have just gotten me contacts earlier. I digress. Got my contacts freshman year. Lo and behold, I got a girlfriend right after that. Huh. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Anyways, here's Logan Webb on the Arson Judge tweet.
I think Chuck might have called me, or I called him or something. We were like, holy shit, this just happened. And then like 5 minutes later or 7 minutes later, Heyman, said, it's not true. Yeah, I said, not cool, man. It wasn't cool. I mean, I think we're all super excited, for those 7 minutes. I think there's a group text and we were all just, yeah, it's whatever.
You can still hear the disappointment and bitterness from the Logan Webb. Love Logan Webb. Great follower on Twitter, by the way. Big Kings guy. Kings Raiders. He actually grew up, me and nice guy Steven, who now works at KCBS, formerly of the pregame show. We used to do a pod, Black Hole Sundays. May or may not revamp that pod later on in the season, but it was a Raiders podcast. Logan Webb, big Raider fan. We had him on. And just a great listen, great follow, and fun guy to be around, talk to, and just shoot the S with, if you will. But he was talking about, and you can hear it there, it's like you thought you had him. And that's the worst part. You thought you had Aaron Judge. You thought you had Carlos Correa. And then again, this is the starting lineup we're going with. Bart, Davis, Estrada, Flores, Crawford, Conforto, Yastrzemski, Haniger, Peterson. And I'm not saying they can't win games. I'm not saying that. The Giants have proven they can. And that 81.5 over-under win total, that's juicy. I'm leaning over because why not? The National League's not top to bottom, not super stacked. Yes, your division is, but it's probably the best division in the league outside of the AL East. You just look at the Padres and Dodgers, those two juggernauts. And maybe I'm selling the NL East short as well when you look at the Phillies, you look at the Mets, you look at the Braves. They're all stacked as well. So maybe it goes the third NL West. So awful lot still to get into with the Giants this season. We'll be monitoring that situation. But again, it got me thinking when Shasky sent out that tweet about who do you believe in more when it comes to developing young talent with the Warriors, the Giants. I was like, that's interesting. I just think who's going to be the bigger bust potentially out of the two between James Wiseman and Joey Bart. And let me know what you think at 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. YouTube, Twitch, hello, hit me up there as well. At Twitter, Spadoni_Joe. That was a bad one. Joey Bart was supposed to be the next cornerstone, next Buster Posey. It would definitely be Joey Bart be the more disappointing one, especially if he doesn't end up making the opening day roster this season. Are you kidding me? And he's not a lock to do so. That would be tremendously disappointing. I mean, you saw this guy come onto the scene a little early. You heard the bat. You felt the power there. You saw the vision taking over for Buster Posey. And then you saw Buster come back and have just an unbelievable season. And then he hangs it up right after. It's like, oh, man. Well, all right, kid. Time to see what you got. Underwhelming. And now they're looking at him in the organization and they might feel strongly about some of the other younger guys that they have. It's not good. Juxtapose out James Wiseman. They just want a chip. If James Wiseman doesn't become anything, you know what? We already won a chip. You won one more, and you know what? I can live with that if I'm a fan. If I'm a Giants fan, and we were supposed to have the next, and no one's going to be Buster Posey. We get all that. Probably a future Hall of Famer. But we're not going to have another really good catcher for the next decade? That's disappointing. Tremendously disappointing. And I would put more stock in James Wiseman becoming, an all-star more so than a Joey Bart. But that, still, number 2 overall pick in baseball, you are hoping, and I know it's a bigger crapshoot just given the amount of talent, the pool, the system, how baseball works. Some of these guys never even break through the minors to make it in the big leagues. We get all that. But just going from playing time, I mean, hell, James Wiseman, Joey Bart's got way more playing time under his belt, and they're already looking to move off from this guy, potentially? That's shocking. That's shocking. So who would be a bigger bust out of the two here in the Bay Area? James Wiseman, Joey Bart. Let me know at 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570, 925, the Xfinity Mobile text line. The Giants are the A's of the West. Well, of the NL West. They're both playing the West 925, but I get what you're saying. I'm not ready to go there. Not even close. The A's, their over-under win total, according to Vegas, is 59.5. Vegas thinks they might not even win 60 games this year. Now, we know the A's, they'll probably go over. They usually do. They didn't last year. But yes, it's disappointing if you're comparing them as far as the no star name value. But hell, even the A's in the past, like even the young, they have young players to be looking forward to. Shea Langoliers, Ken Waldachuk. And by the way, now we're on the A's for a second. Frankie Montas getting shut down for the year. Right shoulder surgery. Talk about another swindle. Yikes. Hey, at least you got Lou Trevino, though. Oof. Another Yankees-A's trade that did not go well. Shout out Sonny Gray for the Yankees. YouTube chat. Hello. Sideshow Bob. That starting lineup for the Giants. SMH. That means shaking my head for you old folks. Yeah, it's not good. It's not bad. It's not like I got to go buy my opening day tickets and I got to go see Michael Conforto and Mitch Haniger and Jock Peterson. Now, if you're a diehard fan, you're going no matter what. Who cares? It's an opening day. You want to go see baseball. You want to go sit with your buds, have some beers, have some peanuts, have some Cracker Jacks. Cracker Jacks are overrated. So are the peanuts, to be quite frank. They're salty as hell. Give me a hot dog. Give me some nachos in the bucket with the chicken. Give me a crab sandwich. Give me all the horrible stuff for me. I know my pocket's going to be $50 lighter, but I don't care. You know, all that stuff. That's what I care about. But if you want to be entertained and you're a diehard and you want to be going there every single day, Joey Bart, J.D. Davis, Tyro Estrada, Wilmer Flores, Brandon Crawford, Michael Conforto, Yastrzemski, Haniger, Peterson, it's not going to get it done. A guy like an Arson Judge or a Carlos Correa might pique my interest. And listen, one of these guys I guarantee is going to have an all-star year. Happens every single year, and they have to put someone in the all-star game, albeit most of the time it's a reliever if no one else is doing great, but I am willing to bet and willing to wager, and I'm sure I can find this somewhere. I think the Giants will have 2 all-stars this year, Logan Webb and someone in that starting lineup, whether that be a Mitch Haniger, a Jock Peterson again, Tyro Estrada, Conforto. I think they'll have at least a couple all-stars. So take that for what it's worth. From the YouTube chat, Champions League is back, Joe. I see you, El Guero. Champions League is back. Was it Borussia Dortmund? 1-0 victory over Chelsea yesterday. Did Gio Reyna summon it all? I only care about the Americans when I watch soccer, when I watch European leagues. That's all I care about. Pulisic's hurt right now. Gio Reyna, he's been doing good things with Dortmund. Leeds struggling. They have a lot of Americans. Aronson, McKinney, Tyler Adams, he's over where? With Fulham. Tim Weah, Fulham. They're doing solid. So, yeah. I stay locked in. I used to be more locked in when I had the later shift, so I would stay through Steiny and Goo, and I was able to watch some of those bigger matchups. By the way, Arsenal taking a bad L to Man City yesterday. Man City now top of the Premier League standings. And thus concludes your soccer talk for 5:23 a.m. on the pregame show. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. NBA 876, James Wiseman is a bust. Wow. Going back to our conversation, which would be a bigger bust here in the Bay Area, James Wiseman or Joey Bart. May have been a bust with the Warriors, but I'm not ready to call his career a bust to James Wiseman, who last night put up 11 points, 5 boards in a Pistons loss to the Boston Celtics. But I saw some nice things from James. I saw confidence. I saw a sense of relief. I saw smiles on his face. I saw him posting up, making smart shots, not looking like he's overthinking things at times, just playing. He was loose. I think that was the word that I'm looking for. James Wise was just loose last night. It was nice to see. Joey Bart, we'll see. Reports are he might not make the opening day roster. And how disappointing would that be? Yikes. Just to wrap up this Giants talk here before we hit our first break, Jock Peterson, Logan Webb on Carlos Correa and that whole crazy situation. Jock Peterson first.
It was a bad dream. I don't know, but I feel bad for Carlos to have to go through all that in the week or whatever he was with the Giants. I actually got to talk to him on the phone, and it's just a real stand-up guy, leader, you could tell, and he had one motivation to win, and I really respect that. So I hope the best for him. Now Logan's going to have to punch his ticket on the way out.
That was Jock Peterson in the Carlos Correa situation on the Chris Rose podcast via John Boy Media. And here's Logan Webb.
I think it was the same thing. I talked to him on the phone. I was texting back and forth with him. I think our wives actually talked a little bit. It was weird. Like Jock said, I do feel bad for that, that whole situation. I don't know, how you can kind of describe such a off season like that, but I do wish nothing but the best for him. Like talking to him on the phone, he was super excited, and I think he wanted to be. He truly did want to be a Giant, and like shit happens, I guess, and unfortunately, that shit happened twice.
A lot of expletives from the guy Logan Webb, hothead. A lot of F-bombs and S-bombs on the Chris Rose podcast via John Boy Media there. From the 925 Xfinity mobile text line, Joe Jabroni. That's pretty good. Take on Spadoni. I get you. 2 SF All-Stars. I get it. You say it because they're paying you for it. They're not paying me to talk about the Giants at 5:23 every morning. I can promise you that. And they're not paying me to say that I think the Giants will have 2 All-Stars this year. I don't think that's a hot take. I think they have talent on this team. I think they could win over 81 games, and I think they could compete for that final wild card slot in the National League. I don't think that's crazy. And that's just given how poor I think the rest of the National League is outside of a few top teams. See, I'm looking at the Mets. I'm looking at the Phillies. I'm looking at the Dodgers. I'm looking at the Padres. I'm looking at the Braves. And then outside of that, it's like, sure, why not the Giants? I understand if you just look at that starting lineup. There you go. That's Shasky. They stink. Are you wearing your Giants hat too right now, Shasky? He's not. He's wearing a Giants sweatshirt. He's fired up. That tweet, by the way, Shasky, got me going. Bigger bust, Wiseman or Bart. We're talking about that right here on the pregame show. We're going to take a quick break. Come on back. 888-957-9570. Xfinity mobile text line, YouTube chat, Twitch. Hello. How you doing? This is the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
If you aren't listening to Willard and Dibs,
what are you doing?
What are we doing right now?
What are you doing? They've gotten to a point where they feel like, let's find a nice little lounge next to the pool, and if things are ready for us to hit the gas come March or April, we will. Here's the problem. It's now time to get up off the lounger, and sorry, we're in a habitual mode now of coasting.
This is the Bay Area's sports station, 95.7 The Game.
Ever since we got Xfinity Mobile, the whole family now has the fastest mobile service. My little brother has no idea how lucky he is. Back in my day, we didn't have it nearly as good.
Oh yeah? Back in my day, you couldn't even stream outside the house. I don't like to think about it.
Please, back in my day, we had phones with cords, and they were mounted to a wall.
Forget phones. Back in my day, we wrote letters. Remember, Herman?
Oh, I remember.
Vintage texting. Cool.
Switch to Xfinity Mobile, the fastest mobile service with 5G and millions of Wi-Fi hotspots. Get the best price for 2 unlimited lines with 5G compared to the lowest price plans of the top 3 carriers. Just $30 a line per month. Visit Xfinity.com/fastestmobile to learn more.
Wait till you hear about how we rented movies.
I don't think she's ready for that.
From Xfinity, home of the 10G network. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Unlimited intro service and Xfinity Internet required. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced fees after 20 gigabytes of usage. Data thresholds may vary.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Here's an invite to our friends and neighbors from Dolan's in Concord. March 17th at 11:30, corned beef, cabbage, Irish soda bread, and it's on the house. Get details at dolanlumber.com. Don't miss the St. Patrick's Day lunch.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Tune in to 95.7 The Game for Warriors Live, 60 minutes before tip-off of every Warriors game. Brought to you by Xfinity. Supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi. Unbeatable internet, only from Xfinity.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. 888-957-9570 is the number if you would like to get involved. That is via calling or the Xfinity mobile text line, 888-957-9570. YouTube, Twitch, hello. Hit me up on Twitter, at Spadoni_Joe. We were talking who would be the bigger bust between James Wiseman here on the Golden State Warriors or Joey Bart on the San Francisco Giants, as reports are being reported that Joey Bart may not make the opening day roster. What? He's supposed to be the guy of the future. He's supposed to be taking over Buster Posey. What are we doing? We need to see what this guy has. Well, they may like some other young studs in the organization. So that posed the question, who would be the bigger bust here in the Bay Area? James Wiseman, his tenure with the Warriors. Joey Bart with the Giants. 888-957-9570. 415 on the Xfinity Mobile text line. Wiseman, Bart, Lance, all trending in the same direction. I'm not going to lump Trey Lance into that conversation. That's not fair to him. Injury factor, that is massive. And just like it was for James Wiseman, the injuries kind of set him back a lot. Joey Bart's had the most playing time easily. And I could see why. Like, his plate discipline leaves a lot to be desired. He's great defensively. He has power. But again, got to make contact. I'm not asking you in this day and age to have a huge average. Can you just give me like 230? Like 230 in today's game, it was like 260 15 years ago. It's a sad state. But nonetheless, maybe things will change with all these MLB rule changes, and we'll get into that. Some ridiculous things out there. Apparently, you can't throw to first to check the runner more than 2 times in a single at-bat. And if you do it a third time and you don't pick him off, that runner gets to advance to second base. What are we doing? Do we think this is better for the game? Rob Manfred and Major League Baseball keep trying to make this game faster and shorter. Just lean into the fact that this is baseball. Like, you're catering to a community that doesn't want you anyways. Cater to the community that does like you. I love baseball. I love it. I love the home runs. I love the atmosphere. I love the look of the grass. I love taking my kid there. He loves it. There is still something so special about walking into that park and seeing that beautiful grass, hearing batting practice, all that sort of stuff. Why are we doing these dumb rule changes that are catering to people that don't even care about the game? It's not going to make these young kids, oh, man, this game's going by so fast. This is so fun. We get to leave soon. No. Think people are saying that when NFL games are taking 4+ hours? No. I know, it's the NFL. They're king. They can do whatever they want. They can do no wrong. Major League Baseball, accept the fact that you are a longer game, and it's going to take a while to play. Just accept the fact that that is part of the uniqueness and beauty of America's pastime, which, quite frankly, is no longer America's pastime. That would be football, American football. They've surpassed you and the NBA a long time ago, and they're going to take another lap around you this season. What are we doing with some of these stupid rule changes? My God. 707, maybe they can outlaw throwing curveballs because they are too hard to hit. Thank you. It's the kind of cynical humor that I love. It's just ridiculous. Now, some of the stuff I get, like the balking, they're going to crack down on more of that when it comes to guys' wind-ups, when we're having, who's that dude? Castillo over in Houston, where he's doing like the cha-cha-cha or the whatever dance you want to call, 1-2 step. He's doing the Soulja Boy Superman. I don't know what he's doing out there, but it's distracting as hell if you're a batter and if you're on base, because I don't know when that windup is going to stop. The Nestor Cortez, the Johnny Cuetos, the leaning in and out, the shimmy, shimmy, shake, like they're cracking down on that stuff. And I understand that to a certain extent. Although as a consumer, I love watching Johnny Cueto pitch and Nestor Cortez doing the in, the out. And by the way, Nestor Cortez scratched. He's not going to play for the Team USA in the World Baseball Classic because of a hamstring strain, easy enough for me to say. And he should be back for opening day for the Yankees, but that's a loss for Team USA. And I'm looking forward to the World Baseball Classic. I know a lot of people aren't locked into it, but it's fun. It's fun. It's one of the, as far as major sports, and the World Cup is huge, and the World Cup is big. We get all that. It's massive. Team USA, U.S. men's national team, hell of a year. Came up short against Netherlands. Greg Berhalter out, by the way. I want my guy Pep over in Man City if things don't work out there. Jurgen Klopp. Go get a European guy. Get one of these guys that have been there and done that and can mold young talent. Give me one of those guys. Jesse Marsch, maybe. By the way, Southampton hired Jesse Marsch after he got sacked That's the term they use over in London. Not fired. He got sacked from Leeds, but now will manage Southampton. But I love watching us go against some of these top leagues and top countries, I should say. The Dominican Republic, just studs left and right. Cuba, studs. Puerto Rico, studs. Mexico, all these different countries. Venezuela. Hell, we got the Paisans. We got Italy joining. We got Canada. We got Israel. We got all these cool countries. And it's a pretty good level playing field. Now, when it comes to basketball, we dominate. Team USA, no one's stopping us. Maybe Spain occasionally. You get your various Anias, Lithuania, Slovenia, all the Baltic countries, if you will, occasionally have some great teams. And by the way, if you just made that one whole team, the Baltic team, that might actually be the best team. You go look at guys like Jokic. You look at Doncic, all the itches. You can just make a great team out of that. Goran Dragic. But I love the World Baseball Classic because it's fun. And USA's not the best team year in and year out. Juxtapose out with basketball, and hell, we're the only ones that really play American football. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the World Baseball Classic, to put it bluntly. From the YouTube chat, you guys are fired up. MLB, you stink. Shout out Dibs. Brandon K. Diz on the YouTube chat. Brandon, again, watching the World Baseball Classic just for the Dominican Republic team. I'm telling you, some of these teams are stacked. And Team USA has a pretty good team. I like some of the guys. Definitely their lineup is good. Their pitchers kind of leave a little bit to be desired. We got Adam Wainwright. He's got like 50 years old now. Kershaw is getting up there. That's so smart, by the way. Kershaw, if you're the Dodgers, like, guy's hurt. He sneezes and he's on the IL for a couple weeks. Like, is that what we want to do? Okay. Sure, if you're the Giants, you're not minding that. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. 510. Kenley Jansen, going back to the cracking down on balking with these new MLB rule changes. Kenley Jansen's wind-up routine is really annoying. Yeah, the wind-up, it's interesting, right? Because I could see both ways from a pitcher's perspective. If it's all one fluid motion, that was when it didn't matter. But it's when you're starting to do these, like, again, I call them like the cha-cha, the whatever dance you want to pick, 1-2 step, Soulja Boy, tell him, Superman, that, you know what. So I get that it's very confusing and distracting if you're a batter on there. Hell, if you're even on the base, you're trying to get a jump. I get it. But it's just the whole rule changes in general. Like, just stop. The shift one, I go back and forth on that one because part of me believes that there is a huge discrepancy and disparity in what the before and after the implementation of the shift and what it's done to the league and making dead pull hitters just basically home run or bust. And that's what this game's turned into. There's no one hits for average anymore. And it's just, well, we struck out, whatever. And there is a part of that is because of the shift and it sucks. But at the same time, instead of trying to get better at hitting the opposite way or hitting a different gap, we've just accepted the fact that you're not going to do that and you're not going to practice and just lean into what you do well. That sucks. That sucks. Who was it? Jazz Chisholm. He said it last year. It's like, yeah, well, you hit better against righties than lefties. So we're just going to, have you hit against these righties. I was like, well, how am I ever going to learn to get better if I'm not hitting against these other pitchers? Like, isn't that the whole point of sports, to learn to get better? Aren't you guys here? Don't you get paid to help me get better? No, actually, we type this into a computer and they tell us what to do. So it's just frustrating from a fan's perspective and from someone who loves baseball and still does love baseball, even though my team's probably going to move. Shout out the Oakland A's and shout out Bob Manfred, who, by the way, if we're going all commissioners, the guy who gives the worst non-answers, it's Bobby Manfred, and it's not even close. We're up against it here. We got to go. One more break here before the cross Jover on the other side. Do a little crosstalk. Alan Stiles, Joe Shasky. They are up at the top of the hour. They're fired up. They have an awful lot they're going to get into. Major League Baseball, Golden State Warriors, San Francisco 49ers. It's all on the table. This is the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Listen to Steiny and Guru with the Odyssey app.
Let me tell you what lead we cannot bury. Klay Thompson played a back-to-back. I mean, just good for Klay Thompson because that's basically the last step. He played a back-to-back last night for the first time since the regular season of 2018-2019.
This is the Bay Area's sports station, 95.7 The Game.
Attention men, if you have ED, PE, or low libido, or if you're always tired, weak, and gaining weight, you could be suffering from low testosterone, a common condition in men over 40. Balanced Medical Solutions has helped thousands of men regain their vigor, stamina, and strength. Restore your performance in the gym and in the bedroom now. Receive a medical evaluation with blood tests and free follow-ups for only $99. Getting old is not a choice, but feeling old is. Call now, 510-679-3300, or visit balancedmedicalsolutions.com.
The Jeep Wrangler 4xE. It's electrified. So you can boogie woogie woogie up a mountain, over creeks, or boogie woogie woogie through a desert where you get bit by a pit viper. So you boogie woogie woogie back to camp and ask your friends if they'll suck the snake venom out. When they say no, you boogie woogie woogie to the nearest hospital for a dose of antivenom and boogie woogie woogie your way to a full recovery. The electrified Jeep Wrangler 4xE. Learn more at Jeep.com. Jeep is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin Ultra Soft on the potty, less is more, so roll it back, everybody. Roll it back. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our potty vibe. It's cushion and clean, so our cheeks feel flat. So worth it. Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Dell Technologies President's Day business event starts now with deals to power America's doers and dreamers. Save on select performance business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for President's Day deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Lowe's always has more ways for you to save. On top of our everyday low prices, pros can save big when buying in bulk. Or if your purchase is over $1,500, ask about our Volume Savings Program. A pro associate can provide a customized quote. Ask about our Volume Savings Programs today. It always pays to be a pro at Lowe's. While supplies last, minimum purchase required. Selection varies by location. Lowe's reserves the right to limit quantities. Volume discount pricing quotes are valid up to 7 days. Visit your local pro desk to learn more and start saving. Offers subject to change and may not be available in all Lowe's stores.
Welcome to the IKEA Sleep Sale.
IKEA Sleep Sale.
Uh-huh. Save on all things bedroom, including select bed frames, duvet covers, air purifiers.
And those fuzzy sheepskin rugs.
Yes, and so much more.
Cozy. I'll take one of each.
Hurry in to visit your local IKEA store or go to IKEA-USA.com before the sale goes night-night. Offer valid 2/15 to 2/26. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. See store and IKEA-USA.com for complete terms. Restrictions apply.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code KICKOFF at checkout. That's harrys.com, code KICKOFF. Enjoy.
On 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back to the Pregame Show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. One more segment here for you before tossing it over to Joe Shasky and Alan Stiles of the Morning Roast. They're fired up. We're getting into this whole Major League Baseball and rule changes during the break just now. Shasky's fired up about it. They'll probably do a little breakdown of all the rule changes. We're doing a little bit of it. And Shasky's whole thing is he wants action. As his consumer, as a lover of baseball, you just want action. And that's what these sports and television networks want too. This is why we don't want the 3-hour plus games, because they want to maximize that 3-hour window, don't want to go over and stuff like that. My whole thing was, as you're listening to the Pregame Show, Joe Spadoni, 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570, Xfinity Mobile text line if you'd like to get involved. By the way, download the Odyssey app and favorite 95.7 The Game for all your sports and Warriors and Giants and A's and am I missing a team? I am. The 49ers, the Sharks, all of it. Favorite that. And yes, some people talk Sharks occasionally, and his name would be Ray Ratto. So be sure to download that app and favorite 95.7 The Game. But my whole point was with Major League Baseball and these rule changes, yes, you want more action. You want the game to go by faster. But I feel like you're leaning into the consumer that they're not consuming this game as frequently as the other people that actually love it. Like you're trying to cater to this next generation yes, you'll always have the kids that are growing up playing baseball, so you'll have that. But at the same time, baseball, the demographics, they're shifting. And not in a good way. It's not good. A lot of people of color are not playing the game, and that's a problem. Here in America, it is a huge problem. Yes, the Dominican, Venezuela, Mexico, again, we were talking about the World Baseball Classic. You'll see all these teams on full display, and they are filled with studs left and right. Look at Team USA. And let's see if I can pull it up right now. The Team USA baseball starting lineup, World Baseball Classic, as Alan Stiles joins me now for a little crosstalk. And I know Alan's fired up for the World Baseball Classic. He's one of the best athletes here at 95.7 The Game. Former Temple Owl, played for their baseball team. He's no Matt Steinmetz D3 basketball player, but he's up there with the D1s, right? D1 for baseball, correct?
Long time ago.
Okay, long time ago. Gotcha. All right, so here's the World Baseball Classic. It's just some of the players, right? We got Pete Alonso, Nolan Arenado, Mookie Betts, Paul Goldschmidt. We got Cedric Mullins, Clayton Kershaw, Kendall Graveman, former A there, Kyle Tucker, Mike Trout. So actually, our lineup's kind of stacked. Like people are kind of sleeping. People are kind of sleeping on it. Like you know what? We're gonna hold our own there. Pitching not great. I mean, we got Adam Wainwright and Kershaw. This guy's like 50 years old.
Yeah,
so he can pull a hip, maybe pitching out there.
Adam Wainwright. It feels like he's been the same age since I started watching baseball.
Dude, he's been 35 years old for the last 20 years.
Forever.
Yes. I always thought Adam Wainwright looked like the clean-cut version of Madison Bumgarner. If Madison Bumgarner grew up in New York City, he'd look like Adam Wainwright.
That's a good call. He's one of those guys that when he does hang him up, that's when we're really going to know, oh, we are getting old.
Yes. Well, dude, Tom Brady's 45.
Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers, he's like Kershaw, like all these guys, but specifically Wainwright's. And then when Miguel Cabrera, Pujols is done now.
It's just going to make you feel some type of way. I mean, I still follow all the drafts. It's a lot of fun. But now, I'll follow baseball prospects and things like that. And I'm looking at some of these high school guys that are just now committing. And I'm doing the math here. And I'm thinking, wow, they will be maybe getting their degree when I'm about 37 years old.
It's crazy. I was looking at just James Wiseman. I was like, he's 21. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, he's just still so young. By the way, did you watch any of the James Wiseman highlights last night? Looked good.
I didn't need to because Warriors Twitter had it all over. So I got all my highlights right there. I got them all right there. Look, good first game for James. I don't think anybody is claiming Hakeem Olajuwon just yet.
Looked loose. That was the word I came. He just looked loose.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice to see that.
It was really nice to see that. Everybody wishes the best for James Wiseman, whether it's because you're just a good person or because you want the Warriors organization to feel dumb. I think he's going to be good. I don't know how good. I don't even know what he's had the most wild comps throughout his time. At one point, he was getting Chris Bosh a lot. But Kevin Garnett. So I don't really know what he's going to be, but just be the best version of James Wiseman.
Yes, and he'll have the opportunity to do that with Detroit. It was so funny. I was looking at the comments. He's like 11-5, great debut for James Wiseman with his new team. Plus minus was -11. He whiffed 4 times on defense. He got sunned multiple. I was like, dude,
they played the Celtics.
They're playing the Celtics.
Yeah,
one of the best defenses and probably the best team and the favorites to win the whole thing right now. And what are we doing?
Well, and the whole plus minus thing. How many teams are going to have a lot of guys in the plus when you're losing?
When you're on the Pistons,
right? Exactly.
What are we doing here?
That's not. if that's your victory lap for James Wiseman, I truly hope you find something good in the world.
We were having a very interesting conversation, and Shasky tweeted it out, and it was very fascinating to me. The comps to James Wiseman and Joey Bart. His question that he posts on Twitter, and there's a poll up right now. I think it's at ButcherBoy415. So check him out there. The poll is still up, I believe. Who do you have more faith in developing young talent? And this is because they have both two number 2 overall picks, and James Wiseman, and then with Joey Bart, respectively. And who do you have more faith in developing young talent between those two organizations? I believe the Warriors are winning like 70% of the vote right now. But it's just an interesting thought, and it got me thinking. And there's reports out right now that Joey Bart is not a lock to be on the opening day roster.
It's not great.
That's not good.
No.
And this was supposed to be the guy. And listen, he was never going to be Buster Posey. There's only one Buster. He's going to be a Hall of Famer probably. We get all that. And it was disappointing because he had a hell of a year. And it's just like, oh, you're leaving, Buster? Like, what are you doing? But he's living life. He has twins. He has kids that he has to take care of. He's a low-key kind of guy anyways, out in Georgia. But it's just got you thinking, like, who would be the bigger bust if Joey Bart ended up not being a Giant, let's say, after this season? It's just like, wow, James Wiseman and Joey Bart gone. What would be the bigger bust out of those two for those respective organizations?
I think it's interesting because two different sports, obviously, but you look at, the Joey Bart thing is more universal, and I don't think other teams would be. What would be the argument for Joey Bart? The same way James Wiseman has the age, timing, fit. All those things didn't mesh together.
Excuses.
Yeah, exactly. But I think they're legit. But nobody is necessarily questioning his talent or the fact that we think that he could figure it out at some point. Joey Bart, anywhere you go, unless it's a weather thing. I mean, I hit much better at Temple once the weather broke, but Joey Bart, the ball is going to be the same anywhere you go. The pitching is going to be the same anywhere you go. So if I'm the Giants, I'm way more nervous about, well, now that James Wiseman is off into Detroit, but if I'm the Giants, this isn't a fit thing in baseball. He might just not be good enough.
Yes.
And that is a worry.
Yeah, and well, you see it multiple times in Major League Baseball more than any other sport. It's crazy. It's like you have these top draft picks. You might never see them in the big leagues sometimes. Like there's so many stories like so-and-so, number 1 former overall pick, never played in Major Leagues.
Well, raise your hand if you've ever watched the Major League Baseball draft.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, I have if it happens, but it's also why bother?
Yeah,
I'll just check him out in 4 years when my life is completely different again.
Shout out Kyler Murray, former Oakland A's first-round pick.
That's
Great
right.
player, by the way. Maybe you should come back to the A's. That would actually be a good idea, right?
That's right.
I don't think it's going to be working out there in Arizona for too long.
You know you're old when you watch the MLB draft this year on MLB Network. And it's a bunch of guys who you watch their entirety of their career. Yeah. It's their sons.
Right.
Holiday's kid going number 1 overall. Andrew Jones's kid.
Yeah. Holiday's got about 3 kids in the pipeline right now.
Vladdy Jr. Yeah. All these players. It's just crazy. When we were just talking about Shasky, it's like Adam Wainwright is pitching for Team USA. Guy's like 50 years old.
We need him not to retire because then we'll know we're washed. Once he retires, then we're super washed.
He seems like one of the players that bothered you.
So I watched him yesterday walk onto the field because I follow all these MLB accounts.
Those high socks too.
Well, they have an all red Cardinal hat that looks pretty sweet.
They always have sick unis. As a kid, not to cut you off, I always wanted to be on the Cardinals in Little League because they always had the cleanest unis.
They do. They have great unis. Like even the baby blues, like all their throwbacks and creams. How do the Giants continue to put out this horrific G hat that I know Willie Mays loves that I absolutely cannot stand? It is the worst practice hat. A's, sweet hat.
Yeah, they always have cool hats.
But the elephant's so dope.
I love the G, but the black jerseys with the G. I love the black unis. Those are my
like the hybrid cursive G thing.
Kind of. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, no, that's the 1970s Giants.
Yes.
You're talking about the cursive G.
Yes, like that one's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that.
But
one.
you're thinking of like that
a
one
block
with
letter G,
the big swoosh G on the bottom kind of one.
It looks
right?
like the G that you would draw in a social studies book in 3rd grade.
Shout out G Unit.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking
about.
The
block letter G when all your buddies started tagging, and like that was like the precursor to being a tagger.
We're still running that out there.
Yes.
Now that I have both of you on here, what do you guys got coming up?
Life.
Wow.
No, we have the funnest.
That's deep. Post All-Star break. Now we got life. We're talking about.
There's a lot of things we're going to break down. Sports happened yesterday. James Wiseman played. I want to talk about that for just a second. But I have a game that we're going to play today. A game. It's a Family Feud style game where you can win my money. No, I'm not Terry Bradshaw. But I am giving you my money that I will give you today, and Roasters will have a chance to win.
That's coming up next. Joe Shasky, Island Style.